Okay. All right, boys. We are 30 seconds to live here. We'll do the quick open. Welcome to the 34 Motorsports Product Showcase. We're proud to offer the full line of Simpson Racing safety products. The Shark Speedway is a perfect brain bucket to keep your melon as safe as possible. We carry every model and size of Hans device, and these have saved countless lives. The Hybrid Pro Lite is an alternative to the Hans device and is just as effective. The DNA 3-layer suit offers maximum protection when things get hot. And hey, dude, those comfy shoes won't help one bit when things go south. Keep those hands ready to work with a pair of Vortex FIA gloves meeting every current standard. From 5 to 7 points, we carry every one of the Simpson harnesses, keeping your rear end right where it should be. Keep all your gear clean and together with the helmet and FHR bag, and always be ready to hop in a race car. Visit 34motorsports.com and order today.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Highside Hustle right here on the National Racing Network. Yes, your boys are back, and we survived Speed Week once again. Bert Wojcik, Adam Rubright with you, Chris Graham, our executive producer. We got a lot to unpack on this show here. There is a lot to unpack, but we're going to kick it off with our first guest here of the night. He picked up the win back at Cedar Lake on Saturday night, his first World of Outlaws win in 5 years. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a long time coming to have this man on the show. Joining us on the Fredericksburg Eagle Hotel Hotline, member of the Moose's LZ, number 3Z, the Jonestown Jet, Brock Zearfoss. Brock, if you're out there on the golf course, I hope you can still hear us. Or did we lose Brock? We might have lost Brock.
We might have lost Brock. Text him and tell him to reconnect. But, yeah, he is a semi-professional golfer today.
Yeah, Brock's being a semi-professional golfer right now. He's on the golf course in Iowa. Somewhere, so we knew, we thought we'd be all right with service, but hey, you know what? It's a dumpster fire on this show.
Must be on the back nine, no cell phone service.
It must be on the back nine there, probably about a plus, I don't know, 30 maybe.
30 over, wow.
Beers?
It might
I
be.
was going to say,
Oh,
if that's
beers,
the beer
absolutely.
count, maybe.
It might be the beer count. But see if you can get Brock Line back up here again. But yeah, I was wondering. It got really, really quiet there for a little. But we will have Brock Zearfoss join us here a few moments. But anyway, all right. While we were
You should
waiting
have him
for
now.
Brock, do we have him now? Brock, are you live? I hear very faintly.
I'm not moving.
What?
There you are.
There
We
he is.
got you. How you doing, buddy? You're live. Don't move a muscle.
Trying to find signal.
Nah, we're getting there. We're getting better. It's getting better. So, but hey, it's we'll tweak it in and out here as we roll
It's an
along
old
here.
Verizon
But yeah,
commercial. Can you hear me now?
yeah, Verizon commercial. It turned into a Verizon commercial. Can you hear me now? So, it's fantastic. But hey, you know what? It's a nice night to go golfing. I'll give them that. Very nice night to go golfing. So, but as we work through the technical side of things here to get Brock all squared away here, let's oh, I hear him.
Yes, he's trying to talk to us. Why don't we do this? Let's shoot him a text, see if we can push him to a little bit later in the show once he's finished up, and we'll unpack the big news of the day.
Yes. Let me send him a text real quick. As he comes back in here. Chris, you want to put him on your side there? You can see if you can't get a hold of him.
Yep, I got him over here.
Okay. Perfect. So let me text him real quick here, and we'll unpack it. Yes, we are. So, it's a work in progress, folks. You know how this Assumption Fire works here in the Highside Hustle. But, Adam, we'll kick it off in Finches Meat Markets news and notes. Go ahead, break the big news that we just kind of found out.
So how do you even unpack this? After the last weekend, we heard there was rumblings in the Macri camp that things were starting to go awry. Well, that is definitely the case. Shuttlesworth and Chris and his dad, I believe, have both left Macri Motorsports, and it appears as if they're going to be starting their own team. Driver to be announced whenever they get everything finalized, but that's pretty interesting. And then you add in the fact that Bernie from Indy Race Parts is going to be coming in to help Macri this weekend. It's interesting, to say the least. It'll be kind of interesting to see how much speed the 39M has, what kind of results they get here in the next couple of weeks after being so dominant this year so far, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, Shellsworth and Bull Shellsworth, honestly. Jim Shellsworth is one of the best minds in Central PA, I think, in the country. It's very, very I'm very curious to see what's going to happen here. There's been a lot of grumbling. We're not going to really get into what happened. We don't really know what all happened, but obviously, the back half of Speedweek, something did happen there, and I don't know what to make of this. I'm very curious to see what's going to happen. Now, if you are friends with Chris Shellsworth on Facebook, now I did reach out to Shellsworth and Macri as well, see if you can't get a hold of them, and couldn't didn't get back anything from them for this. So, I'm very curious to see what's going to happen. Now, it does have Shellsworth Steinman Motorsports on Chris Shellsworth Facebook page. Now, we all know Shellsworth. If you know Chris a little bit, he can be a good kind of a troll sometimes. So, like, a lot of people weren't sure that was true or not. Well, it is true apparently, and I'm very curious to see who's going to be driver of this car. It's probably going to be now. This car was the one that Pat Cannon was in back earlier in the year, and so it's not bad equipment in it. John Simon seems to be a new name that's coming aboard here. Last couple of years, they've had that 23 car. It's brought Pat Cannon back into racing. This is just a weird situation, Adam.
It certainly is. It kind of progressed fairly quickly. Throughout the week, you figure whatever incident happened last Saturday, and here we are on Thursday, and you got potentially a new team emerging in Central Pennsylvania. You have one of the best teams, maybe losing a little bit of their lust and how they um, operate and the kind of speed that they've had all season. So it should definitely in a couple of weeks here um, going forward.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting, I think, and see where if Macri can keep up. We know he has the talent, we know he has the speed, but now when you are switching crew chiefs like this is a whole another ball game. It's a whole, it's a different situation here. It's going to be very, very interesting to watch and see how this plays out coming out here, especially with the Outlaws in 2 weeks. You know that, or 3 weeks. You know that's a big thing. And does this show throw a kind of a wrench in Macri's plan to go out to Knoxville? That's another thing we got to look at too. Are they going to maybe not go out to Knoxville now with the change of a crew chief and going over to some, a new kind of formula that they got to kind of figure out with Bernie Finches here, or Spridgens.
Yeah, absolutely. And Bernie himself is a very talented mind, and
Bernie's a great mind. Bernie's a very, very good mind.
yes, yeah, absolutely. And it'll be fun to see how things kind of play out here and what takes place over the next couple of weeks.
To
Yeah,
me,
absolutely.
there are a ton of questions. It almost is like the Jimmy Johnson, Chad Knaus type questions. Was it the car? Was it the crew/crew chief? Was it the driver? What had the speed in those cars? Because Anthony runs the family-owned car on occasion as well. But seeing a hard split, you can't.
That 39
there's no way
is
to
his
put
car.
the genie
That
back in
39 is
the bottle.
That's. Oh, you're talking about 71. Sorry, Chris.
Correct. So
sorry.
I'm talking about you can't unlearn what you learned from somebody else. So the Shuttlesworth cars, are they built/set up for Macri, and what is that conversion going to be like? How quickly are you going to turn that over to suit a new driver? What is Macri taking out of that to the family-owned team that didn't run week in and week out? That's a big change for that operation, too.
He's not changing cars. He's still in 39. It's just Bernie's going to be coming in the crew chief.
So, okay, so So the change is only crew/crew chief, not equipment.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, see, I thought he was in the Shuttlesworth cars.
No. That 39 is family-owned car. Yeah, that's his car.
So, but there's still the same questions, though. Getting a new crew chief up to speed, or is that something that Anthony and the family are doing on their own? There's a lot of questions on both sides.
Yeah. Well, like I said, you're bringing somebody like Bernie from Indy Race Parts, and Bernie's a great mind. Bernie knows a lot of shit. And
that he does.
I'm very, very curious to see on how this is going to play out here with the next few weeks.
It should definitely be interesting.
I don't know about this week here being so much of a. Well, it might be. It might be a little bit of a test week here, just kind of see how it goes. But I think the true test is probably going to come. I kind of want to say next weekend. When you get your outlaw tune-ups coming about. That's that right there. That might be the true test on where you're at time wise.
Yeah.
And where the car is, at.
I mean, there's no denying
most Speed Week.
There's no denying that Anthony is a very talented driver, but you figure he really kind of bursted onto the scene full bore once the whole Shuttlesworth partnership started there. So it's hard to say what exactly is going to happen,
It's very hard to say what's going to happen. So there's a lot to unpack. We'll see what happens here over the next few weeks. So I tell you what, let's do this. Chris, do you have it tuned up? the Shane interview while
We're
we
ready to go.
try. I tell you what, let's do that. Let's run the Shane interview, and when we come back from that, we'll see if we can get old Brock to wrap up the show. And yeah, I think we can knock both interviews out here tonight, and hopefully, if not, we'll just grab Brock and yell him some other time. How about that? So,
I think it's fantastic. Let's go to commercial.
All right. Quick commercial. We'll be back with Shane Andrews, folks. Stay tuned. You're watching the Highside Hustle.
I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
Welcome to the 34 Motorsports Product Showcase. We're proud to offer the full line of Simpson Racing safety products. The Shark Speedway is a perfect brain bucket to keep your melon as safe as possible. We carry every model and size of Hans device, and these have saved countless lives. The Hybrid Pro Lite is an alternative to the Hans device and is just as effective. The DNA 3-layer suit offers maximum protection when things get hot. And hey, dude, those comfy shoes won't help one bit when things go south. Keep those hands ready to work with a pair of Vortex FIA gloves meeting every current standard. From 5 to 7 points, we carry every one of the Simpson harnesses, keeping your rear end right where it should be. Keep all your gear clean and together with the helmet and FHR bag, and always be ready to hop in a race car. Visit 34motorsports.com and order today.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Highside Hustle right here on the National Racing Network. Bert Wojcik, Adam Rubright, and join us, ladies, here on the Fredericksburg Eagle Hotel Hotline. We are looking forward to this event coming up here this weekend. Super DIRTcar Series making their return to Pennsylvania for the first time in 5 years, 5 long years since the Beasts of the Northeast have made their trip to Pennsylvania, and a long time since they made their trip to Schuylkill County. But they're going to be here on Tuesday night here at the Big Diamond Speedway, and what better way to preview it than having the voice of the Super DIRTcar Series, Mr. Shane Andrews, join us here tonight on the Highside Hustle. Shane, we've been talking for like the last 10 minutes here, but it's finally great to have you on the show officially on the Highside Hustle. Welcome to the show, man.
Well, thank you, Bert. Thanks, Adam. I appreciate you taking the time to invite me in, and I really feel I'm very appreciative of the fact to sit down, chat with you guys, talk about racing, and talk about something that's near and dear to my heart, and that's big block modified racing. Let's do it.
Let's do it, man. Hey, I tell you what, we kind of went to the sprint car route the last couple of years, but big block modifieds, or modifieds really in general, is where we got our start at here in coal country. And we're really excited to see Super DIRTcar Series come back, the Big Diamond here, face off. It's a true, I was thinking about this earlier today. It's a true kind of Ashes posse type thing, because this is a true New York versus Pennsylvania race coming up here on Tuesday night. What, don't you say?
Yeah, I would. I'd agree with that analogy. You know, there's tracks throughout the year that the Super DIRTcar Series goes to that the regulars and the locals, if you will, have an advantage on. I give that to Lebanon Valley Speedway, Orange County Fair Speedway, And really, I don't think Big Diamond is going to be any different. Well, even throw Bridgeport into that mix as well. It's been, well, since 2009, since the Super DIRTcar Series has been down to the track, and it's going to be tough. I know some guys have raced there on occasion. One in particular that jumps out, and I think he's got to be a favorite going into the race, is Alex Jankowski. Rookie out on the tour this year, and I'm throwing it out there right now. I think the 84Y is going to have a good run on Tuesday night.
Absolutely, and really, you figure you can throw in Mikey Goulart from our local side of things, depending on what maybe Strunk Howard, Von Doren, that whole cast of characters do. But then you also have guys like Stuart Friesen and Matt Shepard who have been absolutely excellent at Big Diamond over the past with, say, the Short Track Super Series or whenever they'd come down to invade our big money races.
Oh, absolutely. That's what makes them touring professionals, whether it's CVD, whether it's Strunk, whether it's Friesen, whether it's Matt Shepard, Matt Williamson. These guys read racetracks like Lee read books. They're fluent in it. They know what to look for. They know what they're doing. And they've been to these tracks enough. And, after a while, when you've been racing long enough, a track is going to remind you of something that you have seen someplace before. May not be the same configuration, but you might think, damn, that looks a little bit like something I've been to in the past. So you pull out those notes, and the next thing you know, you got the right gear, you got the right setup, and boom, you're at the front.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you look at some of those guys, that you just talked about there, like CVD and like Howard, Jeff Strunk, I think they're going to be. But I love that you went after Alex Jankowski at the start there. I mean, this young kid has impressed me so much. And, I remember watching him, was it 2 years ago at Bridgeport? He won I think it was the Danny Serrano race, won that, tore the car up as he came to checkers. And, it was just, he still kind of had a head on his shoulders. I mean, he spent 10 grand to win 10 grand. But then last year at the Cold Cracker, he put on an absolute clinic to win that race. And, the kid has such a great future in this sport coming up here, Shane. And I know he's been touring with you guys a lot this year. And, he's going to be the name that, maybe replaces, the next Stu and the next Friesen or Shepard if he stays on this trajectory here where he's at.
Well, he's definitely a talent, and what really impresses me is how he conducts himself away from the race car. He's a very down-to-earth, very humble, very focused young man, and I like that. I think that's what appeals to me, especially as an announcer, but more so as a race fan. Just the way that he conducts himself, and he's just a good racer. He's, like you said, Bert, he's got a great future ahead of him. And you mentioned how he won the Danny Serrano, he won the Coal Cracker. Let's not forget, he's the youngest winner on the Super DIRTcar Series.
Charlotte.
He did that at the dirt track at Charlotte last year, and that's impressive. I mean, that whole weekend we had the youngest and Alex Jankowski, and then the oldest and Brett Hearn on the same weekend. I mean, two polar opposites, and there was no middle ground. It was like, okay, you got this here and this there. It was, but yeah, just he's got a bright future ahead of him, and I think he's going to do very well for himself.
Modified race is weird, man.
It is, because you figure he won he won the Friday show, and then he started
after his grandfather died, if I remember right.
Yeah, and then he started a little deeper in the field on Saturday, and there was a point on Saturday's feature where you thought, all right, is this kid going to go 2 for 2 on the weekend? Because he started going forward in a hurry.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he did. And, Charlotte's not an easy place to get around. It is a fast joint. And, then you have the extra pressure because really all the world of racing is watching us that weekend because we have the World of Outlaws sprint cars, the World of Outlaw late models, and the big blocks all in one place. And there's nothing else going on. So everybody is watching. And for him to do what he did on that weekend with that much pressure, in spite of the circumstances that him and his family were going through at the time, I think speaks highly of not only how he can focus and use and is motivated to be able to perform.
Absolutely. And I think another name we got to bring up here is a former Super Dirt winner. Not only, I got 2 of them, and they're both race at Bridgeport, and they both have their wins at Bridgeport. We'll start with the most recent one, Ryan Godown. He's been very good at Big Diamond as well, but he's made Bridgeport his personal ATM. But Big Diamond's in a place where he's been very successful over the last couple of years, and really this year has been such a phenomenal year for Ryan Godown as well. He has wins so far up at Port Royal, Bridgeport with you guys. I think there's a win at the Diamond in there somewhere as well. Go Down's going to be a threat, I think, coming up here on Tuesday night as well.
You know, we've had 6 races already on the Super DIRTcar Series this year, and we have already seen 6 different winners. It wouldn't surprise me if we saw a 7th different winner after Tuesday night. But it wouldn't also surprise me if we saw our first repeat winner in the form of Ryan Godown, a Matt Shepard, or Stuart Friesen. And I wouldn't be surprised if Max McLaughlin made it 2 in a row as well. Max is riding on that hot streak, and coming off that win at Land of Legends last week. And you talk about another young driver that is up and coming. I mean, he's got more experience and more versatility right now than we've seen with some other young drivers with what he's done. But I think Max could be a threat for this one as well.
Yeah, and I'd also like to see guys like maybe Jack Lehner do something good. He's kind of impressed me the last couple of years and how he's been, progressing as a driver on and off the track. And I'd like to see him do good. Like you said, Max, I mean, the possibilities for next Tuesday night are absolutely endless on who could win this thing. Because
absolutely.
And then you add in the fact that they added a track resurface a couple of years ago. So everybody has notes on the shape of Big Diamond, but do they have notes on the surface of Big Diamond? So
good point.
That's a very good point. That is a excellent point. And you know as well as I do that these racers talk to each other during the week. They, whether they're traveling up and down the highways together for series or they share the same chassis builder, the same motor builder, the same shock builder. It doesn't matter. These guys are always talking. And you know that when Matt Shepard, Stuart Friesen, Super Dirt Series guys, Jimmy Phelps, all of them, Matt Williamson, pulling the town, they're going to be looking, hey, who can I talk to? Who do I have the relationship with? Can I pick a brain of a CVD? You're going to have a Hall of Famer, CVD there. You're going to have a Hall of Famer and Billy Decker. Those two are going to connect up and swap some notes and talk to each other. So there's going to be there's going to be conversations in the pit on what to do for setup and what the surface has been like.
Absolutely. And I want to go back. You mentioned Max McLaughlin earlier. I just looked at your points here, Shane. You got a nice little Donnybrook going on right now at the top of your points between Matt Shepard and Max McLaughlin. 4 points separate them coming into Big Diamond here. And, in the 6 races you guys ran this year, I know it's not many. I mean, you are the one of the later series to get going there. Unfortunately, with Mother Nature and that, it seems like New York takes forever to thaw out. But whenever you guys do get going here, I mean, this is such a tight – it's almost like a chase type deal because you guys get a lot of races in a short amount of time, but yet there's not much time to really do a lot with it. So I think, McLaughlin, he's got a shot here in the net, throughout the summer here to kind of go down and chase Shepard down. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think if there's one consistent as you look over the last 10 years in the Super Dirt Series, it's been Matt Shepard, an 8-time series champion. He knows how to win races. He knows how to win championships. He knows what it takes. And I think that's a huge advantage, especially when you've done it in the past. I mean, there was a couple of years ago where he was suspended for 2 races after an on-track incident, and he still won the title. So, it's close right now. I hope it stays close. And there's a variety of characters. You've got Peter Britton. You've got Matt Williamson. You've got Jimmy Phelps. All in this mix that on any given night, anybody can win. And you never know what could happen. I mean, somebody could blow a motor, pop a tire at the wrong time. It just, you guys know racing as much as I do, if not more, that there's so many unpredictable circumstances that could happen. But right now, hey, 4 points separating 2 drivers, that's fantastic. Let's ride that wave and let's see that slobber knocker.
Oh, that's what we want. We want that slobber knocker. We want that exciting finish, especially when it comes down to Charlotte, because last couple of years Shepard has kind of had the title wrapped up in Charlotte. But I remember the last year, Adam and I, we went down to Charlotte. That was the year when Matt Williamson won it on the Saturday night down there, and that was probably one of the modifieds have always sold the show down at Charlotte. I thought they're always between the modifieds and late models have been the show down at Charlotte. I mean, I love my sprint cars. Don't get me wrong, but the modifieds always seem to steal the show down there. And that night between when Williamson held, I think it was going after Shepard. It probably was Shepard. It was 2019. Yeah. It was probably hammered at that point. I don't remember, but still, anyways, vacation. But still, it's still. If it comes down to a race like Charlotte, it just makes the crowd, I think, more interested in the modified type things, which they're getting more exposure now, too, with the advent of Dirt Vision and being a part of the Fast Pass. that, people are seeing that modified aren't just mud turtles anymore. They're actually a very good, legitimate series now.
Well, Bert, you bring up a good point about modified racing, and I'm probably prejudiced when I say this, but I agree with you 100%. It's the best racing out there. And I know there's going to be a lot of people that are like, oh, they're slow, the mud turtles, this and that, blah, blah, blah. But you know something? They race. They really do. They race side by side. And I've seen some phenomenal races over the years, and I've had the privilege of calling a lot of races. A little side note, you mentioned Dirt Vision and the modifieds being on there. The very first race that was ever broadcast as a Dirt Vision race was a big block modified race. That actually started in central New York before it evolved into what World Racing Group has today. So Dirt Vision's basis was actually based on the big block modifieds in central New York.
Wow. Did not know that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So we love it. Yes. Yes, put that. Yes, there you go. That'll especially in New York. They'll definitely. You know what? Samples from New York, I think, right? So they can.
I don't know.
That could be
I don't drink it.
No, I haven't in a long time, but I think it's some random ass fact I know. But I love that they're getting such an exposure now, and people are seeing this. And I want to get your thoughts on this too. We hear so much talk, and we had this talk over, or heard so much discussion over Speedweek last week. With the way gas prices are and the way the economy is right now, I feel like that these pay-per-view services that we have out there, they're a good thing for the sport, especially on nights where if you can't make it to the track or say, hey, we like our modifieds, we want to watch Dirt Vision. We obviously on the work night, we can't make it up to say like Ransomville or Albany, Saratoga on a work night, but we're still able to watch it. But yet the fans are still going out to watch it, as involved with, the Dirt Vision side of things. And, you're on the pay-per-view weekly. Are you seeing that, that Dirt Vision's like helping more than it's hurting than what a lot of people are saying what it's doing? Like a lot of people are assuming that what it's doing.
I'll give you this example. June 30th, we were at the Land of Legends Raceway for the Super DIRTcar Series, and we had the DIRTcar Sportsman Central and West Combined Series race. And we were doing the broadcast on Dirt Vision, and the place was packed. And I see this continually to the racetracks that we're going at that are doing the pay-per-view, or like Paul Kolick, Land of Legends Raceway, who is not charging for the broadcast, and his crowds are up, his sponsors are up. I see a definite correlation, and let's face it, pay-per-view and racing broadcast, whether it's Dirt Vision, Flow, Mav, whoever, it's here to stay. And I think it's been helpful. I think it's brought some new fans into the mix that may not have been familiar with any type of racing, whether they were diehard sprint car fans that maybe tuned into Weedsport to see what was going on because it happened to pop up, or a big block modified fan who happened to tune in to see what was going on at Oswego, or something along those lines. I think there's definite lines being crossed in a good way that nobody really has that. Oh, I'm a diehard sprint car fan, I've got to watch this race, and that's all I'm going to watch. I think people are starting to see that there is some terrific racing in all divisions across the United States, and I think it's helpful, and I really do think it's brought more people to the dance.
Absolutely, and you brought it up there, so I'm going to have to ask. Oswego, Super Dirt Week, how are we feeling going into this year's Super Dirt Week?
I feel fantastic, Adam. It's the 50th edition, okay? It's a race that I am as old as, so we're celebrating our 50 birthdays together. But Oswego gets precedence because it's more of a tradition than I am. But the 50th edition, I'm feeling great about it. We've got some great things that are coming up. We've got a golf tournament this year, which I'm going to be playing in, and I can't wait. We're going to have a bunch of drivers that are playing in it. We've got a championship race, past champions race, and they're still working out the details with this. It's going to be a 25-lap race. It's going to pay, I think, $2,500 to win. I got to look. I hope I didn't speak out of turn when I said that, but it does pay to win. But think about this for just a minute. A past champions race. Can you imagine if we could get Bucky Rudiman in a modified, Gary Ballou, Stuart Friesen, Matt Shepard, Larry White, Brett Hearn, Kenny Tremont, Toby Tobias, and a modified. Can you imagine if we could pull that off?
God.
Billy Osmond, maybe he'll come out of retirement. I don't know.
That's my childhood.
Seriously.
There's just something.
There's
just something about
Super Dirt Week.
Yeah, there really is, and I haven't been up in probably 2 years, so I'm hoping to change that. But there's just something about being from Pennsylvania anyway, waking up on say the Tuesday or the Wednesday, you already have the camper packed or whatever you're taking up there with you, and just starting that drive to upstate New York. Now years passed. When I was a kid, it was Syracuse. I missed that place dearly. But however, I do believe that the racing has been better at Oswego because the cars are closer. They're not strung out on the mile. I missed the mile, but I think the racing at Oswego has provided to be better.
Well, you're absolutely right, and I agree with that. And another name that I want to throw out that I'm going to pitch, Kenny Brightville, if you're watching, Adam, pick him up on the way up, okay? Bring him with you so we can get him in that champions race. But, each track has something different to offer. Each venue has something different to offer. Syracuse will never be replicated. No way, shape, or form, okay? It won't be replicated from the fact of the event that was there. I mean, it was a party. It really was. It just happened to have a race in the middle of it. This big state fairgrounds. I missed the fairgrounds too. It was an event. It was growing up here half an hour from the fairgrounds. It was what was ingrained into the fabric as a modified fan growing up. So to see that go away, a little piece of me died. It really did. I'm not going to lie. To have Super Dirt Week at Oswego, I think is fantastic because, number one, it stayed in central New York where it belongs. And a lot of people in the community and a lot of people in the Northeast depend on the success of Super Dirt Week because of its tradition. The monies that it brings into the local communities, not just Syracuse or Oswego, it's the ancillary. It's the restaurants, it's the hotels, it's the bars, it's the grocery stores, it's everything under the sun. So you're right, Adam. The mile had its nuances, but Oswego has its nuances as well that help enhance and continue to make it racing's biggest party.
It's something too, Shane, that kind of I always scratch my head on it at first. Like, all right, there's so many great dirt tracks in New York or Central New York, especially. Why are we putting dirt on a track? And then you see the racing Oswego's putting on, and the facility there too. I mean, it never really dawned on me. You need the facility that held the capacity that the mile did. And if I'm right, Oswego's got to be one of those only places that can do it. But it's shown the last couple years of racing, as Adam said. The racing's been fantastic up there. It's been so much better than what it was at the mile. And, it's some of those things that you finally look at the whole picture of it. It's like, all right, it makes sense on why they're doing this here, this crazy experiment that they're doing here in Central New York.
Well, it's you're absolutely right, Bert. It's one of only a few facilities that could really handle what we needed, camping-wise, fan-wise, the infrastructure for the community to be able to have close to the hotels, the grocery stores, the restaurants, to be able to handle the influx of people, because really it becomes a city within a city, if you will, regardless of whether it was at the fairgrounds or at Oswego. The population goes up twofold and the economy goes up as well. And it's so cool to see the way that it works every year and to be able to have that happen. Last year we had over 300 race cars for 4 divisions, and that was without the Canadian border being open. Well, this year,
that's insane.
The border's open. What are we going to have? And I can't wait to find out. I really can't wait to find out. And I get goosebumps talking about it. I mean, it's the 50th edition, and it's a milestone. There are a lot of events, a lot of major motorsports events that have celebrated 50 years, and we're going to do that this year with Super Dirt Week, and I am just so proud to be a part of it. To say that I'm going to be announcing at the 50th edition of Super Dirt Week.
So badass.
we're gonna have to go. It's only
Yeah, all right,
only
we're going.
fair.
We're
You were
going.
never. This boy was never at a Super Dirt Week.
Never.
Never at the mile. Never at Oswego.
Yes.
Calls
Well,
himself a
Seriously.
modified fan. Never at either.
listen,
I have race
know.
fans
I gotta
from
get out
the
the porch.
mile
I
and
gotta get out the porch.
Oswego and Charlotte, like hanging on my dash in my truck. Like you take that. There's something about you take that wristband off and you put it somewhere. Well, mine hangs on my air fresheners on my truck, and I get the biggest smile every time I see that final one at Syracuse, and right next to it was the first one at Oswego. It was just something about being there, you know. Plus, you figure last year, Bert, we were at the 60th edition of the Knoxville Nationals. It's only fair we go to upstate New York this year for the 50th anniversary of Super Dirt.
All right. Book the trip.
Compelling argument, Bert. I cannot argue against that.
Listen.
Right there, the jury's in.
If the weather's good and I'm game, I got nothing going.
I'll still go.
Even
all right, let's go then.
Party.
Good.
All right. Listen, hey, twist my arm. Twist my arm. Twist me. That's a cooler full of beer up there waiting for me to twist my arm. There you go. All right, I'm in.
I'll drive to upstate New York just to party. I mean,
yeah.
That event alone brings. It really is. When they say it's racing's biggest party, they're not kidding, Bert. It is racing's biggest party.
If you guys make it to Super Dirt Week this year, you make sure you get a hold of me, and I will have a beer with you. All right?
Yes, we absolutely will. Hey, I mean, why wait till Super Dirt Week? Why not just wait till Tuesday night after Big Diamond? I mean, I
like that idea too.
I mean, listen, it's not like we don't take, I mean, yeah, sure, we're kind of professional media members, but we kind of like to drink, so I mean, we like to party. We know a few things about it, but professional. But yeah. Anyway, before we let you, what's that?
I always work up a thirst.
Yes. Hey, listen, announcing's a hard gig. It is. Like you're pretty thirsty after there. You need that, that ice cold. Well, we're gonna be in School County. You need that ice cold lager going down after the race on Tuesday night. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll have some lagers ready for you in the parking lot after Big Diamond on Tuesday night. We're looking forward to that. But hey, before we let you go here, Shane, I think a lot of the fans that are gonna be coming to Big Diamond on Tuesday night, they're gonna see a lot of different names here coming up here. Who are some of the names that you think, besides the obvious ones between McLaughlin, Shepard, and Stewie, that they should be looking out for on your side of things? Or we know our names down here, like maybe somebody like Kevin Beach, hopefully he can have a good run come up here. Or Nick Rosinski, he just picked up a win at Big Diamond on a couple weeks ago there as well. He's been running well. Who are some of the other guys that may throw a threat here on Tuesday?
Well, I think a couple of guys I'll throw out there. Tim Sears Jr., youngster out of Clay, New York, and the number 83X following the tour. A driver that I know you guys are familiar with, and you've heard the name quite a bit, Anthony Perego, in that Vinny Salerno 4-star car. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Is he in Vinny's 4-star? I didn't realize he was in Vinny's car.
Yep.
Okay.
He's in Vinny's car. Jimmy Phelps, who's Max McLaughlin's teammate with the 98H out of the HBR Racing stable. The Batman, Peter Britton, in that number 21A. Jack Lehner in the number 2L. Billy Decker in the number 91, the Hall of Fame inductee this July.
Who doesn't know Billy Decker? Who doesn't know Billy Decker?
Yeah, the Franklin Flyer.
Yes, we all love Billy Decker.
5-time Super Dirt Week champion, by the way.
Yes. Great segue. Great segue, by the way. By the way, I know Adam. Literally, by the way, Adam, you brought up Jack Lehner earlier. I know the only reason you did that. I love the nickname Ginger Ninja. That's the only reason you brought Jack Lehner's name up.
I do. I'm not gonna lie. I will always be a massive Jimmy Phelps fan. I've been a fan of his for many.
We had him on the show.
We did. We had him on the show.
We did.
We had back at
the
year.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, when I heard the Ginger Ninja, I'm like, oh my god, that sold. Absolutely perfect.
Is that on his T-shirt? It's got to be on his T-shirt.
Yes, it is. I think it is. That's a great nickname. That is one that I cannot take credit for, nor will I. I believe that originated by Dan Martin down at the Albany Saratoga Speedway, a good friend of mine. And I did those little karate chops because every time that I introduce him as the Ginger Ninja, I do that. So just so you know,
no way.
I do that. I do, yeah.
All right. I'm coming up to the booth on. I'm coming up to the booth on Tuesday night. I'm going to go and just harass Casey Bowsher. He'll be up there as well. I'm going to harass him just so I can go see if he can do this. I think Adam and I will have to invade the booth at some point on Tuesday night to see this, if this is true. Because if it is, this is internet gold, Shane. Internet gold.
Internet gold. Yeah, internet gold.
Oh, God, this is
Speaking of
fantastic.
nicknames, before we let you out of here, how did you get the nickname of The Voice? Kind of curious on that one.
Good one.
Good one. All right. Well, it just so happens that when I started announcing back in it was back when I started. I'm showing my age here. 1987. I was touring with a antique club, the Mid-State Antique Stock Car Club, and one of our family friends, a guy by the name of Dick Stevenson, raced a late model at a track in Blodgett Mills, New York, outside of Cortland, New York, called the Skyline Raceway. And every time that I announced, he would call me The Voice. And it kind of stuck. I was like, that's not bad. That's a cool little moniker. So I decided to take it and run with it. And here we are, 30 some odd years later, I am The Voice.
And a hell of a voice you are, sir. It is such an honor to finally get to talk to you. I love listening to you every chance we get a chance to hear you on Dirt Vision, and we're looking forward to listening to you on Tuesday night at Big Diamond. And of course, tell the people here where they can find you on all your socials and where they can watch Super DIRTcar Series return to Big Diamond for the first time since 2009. Good Lord, that's a long time. Long time since we're down there. But where can they all check that out?
Well, they can check us out on Dirt Vision on Tuesday night, July 12th, from the Big Diamond Raceway. My socials, this is going to be embarrassing, but I only have one social channel, and that is Twitter, NYVoice13. That's how you'll find me.
And there are some fine tweets on there, by the way. Fine tweets on there.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
You do
keep your eye on,
good job
keep
with
your eye on those. I got some good concerts coming up.
Oh, yes, I've seen those. I've seen some of those concert tweets. But let's get going here, Shane. Thank you for the time tonight, sir. We can't wait to see you on Tuesday night, and have fun getting down here and be safe. And I'm sure we'll catch you up on Tuesday night. We will have that logger after the race.
All right, Bert, Adam, thank you very much for everything you do for promoting motorsports, covering all aspects of it. And I appreciate you having me on the show. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you.
A lot of guys. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Shane.
Welcome to the 34 Motorsports Product Showcase. We're proud to offer the full line of Simpson Racing safety products. The Shark Speedway is a perfect brain bucket to keep your melon as safe as possible. We carry every model and size of Hans device, and these have saved countless lives. The Hybrid Pro Lite is an alternative to the Hans device and is just as effective. The DNA 3-layer suit offers maximum protection when things get hot. And hey, dude, those comfy shoes won't help one bit when things go south. Keep those hands ready to work with a pair of Vortex FIA gloves meeting every current standard. From 5 to 7 points, we carry every one of the Simpson harnesses, keeping your rear end right where it should be. Keep all your gear clean and together with the helmet and FHR bag, and always be ready to hop in a race car. Visit 34motorsports.com and order today.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Highside Hustle right here on the National Race Network. A fantastic interview with our friend Shane Andrews here. We cannot wait to see Super DIRTcar coming into Big Diamond on Tuesday night. Looking forward to that. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring him up here on the Moose's LZ hotline in just a sec. Or not the Moose's LZ hotline, the Fredericksburg Eagle Hotel hotline. But the driver of the Moose's LZ, number 3Z. Listen, it's the same thing. You know, it's literally, I had the, whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, driver of the Moose's LZ,
well,
number
hold on.
3Z.
Brock is getting back to the house here.
Okay.
He will be. Oh, there we go. He says he's good, so bring him in.
Yeah, all right, let's bring him in on the hotel hotline now. Driver of the Moose's LZ, number 3Z, picked up the win at Cedar Lake on Saturday night. The Jonestown Jet, Brock Zearfoss. Brock, I think we have you now, buddy.
Yeah, I think we're good now. This good Iowa cell phone reception out here is pretty fantastic.
Just fun stuff, you know. You think that corn would, you know, drive the economy, you know, maybe put some infrastructure in there, you know, I don't know. Unreal. But hey, anyways, you're in Iowa, but you are now a full-time outlaw winner finally, bud, up in Wisconsin. Congratulations, man. That was a long time coming, bud.
Hey, are you there?
Yeah, you got us.
Okay, now we're good. I think.
Okay, now we're good. Anyways, dude, congratulations on the win on Saturday night, man. And that was a long time coming. I mean, for the wait, what was it, since 2020 since your last win, but now, you know, 5 years in between outlaw wins, that had to be such a relief on Saturday night to get that off your chest finally. Uh-oh. Iowa Wi-Fi working well? There it is. Can we try the third time?
Can you still hear me?
I got you now, Brock. Can you hear us? Because apparently the internet doesn't want us to talk about, you know, your outlaw win, apparently.
This is ridiculous, I'm telling you. Welcome to Iowa. Man. It's not heaven.
Well, it's not. Well, it depends. When you're drunk in Iowa, it is kind of heaven. But when you're not,
yeah,
you know, when you're trying to do an interview. Yeah, but anyway.
It's not heaven when you're trying to talk on the phone.
How about it? Outlaw win, and that had to be a long time coming for you guys.
Yeah, it was, you know, definitely it was a long time coming for sure. We kept plugging away and you know, we had opportunities so far this year a few times, and you know, just stuff didn't go our way, but Saturday it did, and we were able to pull it off. So it was good to be able to complete a full night and finish it off, and you know, I feel like that's where our team should be, is contending for wins. And you know, like I said, it's just sometimes things don't fall your way, and you just got to take it with it and move on to the next one.
Absolutely, and you guys really have been kind of building up to this. You know, you had that impressive run out of Huset's, locked yourself into the top four, which us out here on the East Coast were super pumped up for. You know, and to go out and grab a win, your first one with the Outlaws since Williams Grove in the 58 car, however many years ago at the Summer Nationals. It's got to be a huge momentum booster, you know, looking forward for the rest of the season here.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, it all comes down to consistency, and, you know, the Huset's race that whole week, it based your performance off consistency. So we were good enough to put together 3 solid nights and put ourselves in contention for the 100,000. So, you know, that's 90% of what you need to do when you're racing just a normal outlaw race. Is you just have to put yourself in contention and be consistent with it if you want to be successful. It's just you can't have any mistakes or any faults happen, or you're just behind the 8 ball. So, but you know, mistakes are going to happen when it's your second full-time year out on the road. I mean, Cedar Lake, last year was my first time ever there, so I only had 2 races, you know, 3 races if you count Friday until Saturday. So the way I look at it is, if we can improve on our performance the second time there, you know, I feel like we're heading in the right direction. But yeah, I mean, like Huset's, you had to be consistent. Our car was actually really good on Friday too, and we were moving forward, and then got the front wing knocked off, and our car, the handling just kind of went away. So we ended up falling back to 11th or so. But I was still confident that our car was able to win.
What have you guys been finding over the last few weeks? It seems like you guys are really getting more consistent now as the year has gone on. I mean, we're seeing you more and more up towards the front and down. And that's the biggest thing out of everything is, your time trial effort has gotten so much better. Like you and the crew are really starting to find something now. What do you think it's been over the last couple of weeks, bro?
I don't know. I think it's just a matter of hard work. It's not easy, but it's even harder when you don't race the same place every week. You go from one track to another, and Cedar Lake was one of the oddball weekends where we were there for 2 nights. A lot of times we're racing one track and then we head to another one and race another one the next night. So you don't really have much time to figure out anything. And we've just been working really hard on our time trial package, just trying to find a nice balance for the car that'll work everywhere. And I feel like our car's gotten better, which we need to be better in time trials to put ourselves in the right positions. So if you can time good, you put yourself in the right spot in the heat race. If you can get in the dash, that's huge, and that just makes your night a lot easier, I guess you could say, to put yourself in contention to win the race.
Isn't it funny how 2 laps can literally make or break your night, especially on the Outlaw Tour?
That's all the Outlaw Tour is 2 laps. So if you can't nail 2 laps right off the beginning of the night and put yourself up front in the heat race, your night is really, really difficult to overcome that. So that's what makes the Outlaws so tough is, the guys like the Macedo and Brad, Don, David, Sheldon, all them guys, they all time good, and they're always up front in the heat race, and they're always in the dashes, and that's why you see them up front in the feature a lot, is because they're starting in them top 8 positions. If you ain't in the top 8 in the beginning of the feature, your night is really hard. Even though you're 9th or 10th or so, it's not as hard. But when you got to come from 15th every night, it's almost impossible to really. Your car has to be perfect and then some to make up all that ground.
Yeah, absolutely. And you also had a chance last week too to go out and race back home here and get a couple laps at Port Royal, back with your old car, basically with the 58 turn 19 car there. How good was that? First of all, just to get home for a couple of days. I'm sure that probably felt nice to be home for a few days, and to be back with Aaron and them to run the car for one night up at Port there, a place where you've been so good at over the years that you went out in the Outlaw Tour. How was that getting back home for a couple nights?
Yeah, it was nice to be able to come home for, even though it was a day and a half. It was still good to come home, sleep in your own bed for a night, and it was fun to come home and not have to worry about points or performance or anything like that. You just go out and race. And Aaron had asked me earlier in the year if I would want to come run his car just to see how their car is at Port Royal. I know Troy's been doing a good job in it, but he just doesn't have the experience on a big half mile like that. That's slick, and it was more so to just try and help him learn and get their car in the right direction, so that Troy can run better there. So happy to help my buddy Aaron out. I'm glad he gave me an opportunity to run his car and come home for a night. And it was a lot of fun. We figured a bunch of stuff out on his car, and I'm excited to see what their car does the next time they run there. But it was just a nice relaxing night, even though it was a lot of travel. But it was still nice to just kind of show up to the racetrack and just have a good time.
Yeah, and that Walkman kid, he's doing some good stuff, ain't he, right now? Troy's definitely being fast down in Lincoln. And definitely one of the best cars in Pennsylvania, I think, right now, at least in Lincoln.
Yeah, he's doing a good job.
But a couple weeks ago when we had Spencer on, he kind of talked about the importance of, having these kind of relaxing days and, just to eat, like you said, sleep in your own bed. How important do you think that is to, get home for a day or two, sleep in your own bed, or your example, play a random game of golf in the middle of BFE in Iowa, and just kind of like a stress reliever type deal.
Yeah, I mean, you have to find time to unwind and you know, even though it's a job and you're around it every day, you know, you have to find that time to kind of almost live, I guess you could say, like a normal life. Because it'll drive you crazy, man. But you know, it doesn't mean that we're not 110% into racing. It's just, you know, sometimes you just have to step away from the job. You know, during the week you get all your work done, and you know, you have some time to relax. So it's important, I think, especially being on the road, and a lot of people don't understand it until they do it, that you have to find time to step away and kind of just unwind a little bit and take your mind off of it some, because it will drive you crazy, that's for sure. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of travel, it's a lot of hard work, it's a lot of hours. So any hours that you can get to relax or just kind of, you know, go play golf or fish or something like that, you know, that kind of makes life on the road a little bit easier.
Yeah, burnout is definitely a real thing, man, and that's one thing you really can't be, especially when you're on the road for 80 some nights like you are with the Outlaws, and that's you got to be as fresh as possible.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's, you know, I don't get to fly home every week or do anything like that. You know, I'm out here with my guys in the parking lots, you know, working on the car, working on the trailer, doing whatever we need to do. But you know, that's what I mean. That's why I say it's important for us to kind of, you know, get our work done, and then, you know, we're fortunate to have Tony and Katie Schilling out here in Iowa that have a house with a shop that they allow us to stay at and kind of base ourselves out of. So we kind of have a homely type feel when we're out here. So, you know, that makes our life a little bit easier. You know, we can come here and kind of hang out and get that homely kind of feel and, you know, kind of separate a little bit and have our own little space. When you're stuck in hotels and stuck around each other all the time, you know, that you got to kind of separate a little bit, or you know, sometimes it doesn't end up too well. But you know, we all do a good job with each other working, and you know, we all have fun, we all enjoy each other's company, so that makes life a lot easier.
Absolutely, but we're running short on time here. But I do want to ask you this before we get going here. You know, you're not. I should say this. You're pretty familiar with running with guys like Gravel from your days back at Linda's and that. And do you guys ever reminisce about that all back in the days at Linda's and if you went at Blanco and all that back in the days when you guys used to do, you know, do some shit out here with the 600s?
Yeah, sometimes we talk about it. You know, it's always good to look back on your past and see where you came from. You know, that's one thing that I I don't forget is where I came from, and I know, you know, it's cool to see all the younger kids coming up through the ranks too, and they all want the same dream that I did when I was young. So it's cool. Um, it was really cool in, I'm trying to think, 2019. Uh, Me and David were on the front row, I believe, of the prelim night, or we were racing side by side. Somebody got a picture of it, and um, yeah, it was cool to look at that picture and think, you know, hey man, back in, you know, 2000, whatever it was, 7, 8, 9, you know, we were doing the same thing then, and now here we are again, X amount of years later, and we're racing side by side again in one of the biggest stages in the country, you know, in sprint car racing. So it's you get to talk about it a little bit
Yeah.
and just kind of look back on where you came from.
Yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. Well, hey, we're up against our next broadcast here, Brock, but we will continue. We have to continue this conversation again, man. So we will probably have to get you when you come in here for the Summer Nationals in a couple weeks, because I'm sure you guys are looking forward to that. And you know, you got a big weekend coming up here next weekend, Kings Royal, and you got Iowa this weekend, man. How do we feel going in the next couple weeks here?
Yeah, obviously you know, we have some momentum going and some confidence. So it's, you know, it's nice that we're kind of meshing here and gelling and getting rolling here in the right time of the year. You know, there's a lot of money coming up and a lot of racing. So, we're going to be busy here the next few weeks. And, like I said, there's going to be a lot of money. So hopefully we can carry the momentum that we had this past weekend into the future here and click off a couple more wins.
It is the month of money for a reason, man. I hope he get some money here over the next couple weeks here, and maybe even a win, at Port Royal or Williams Grove. Well, that'd be pretty badass, and I'm pretty sure we'd probably burn one of those places down if that were to happen, like we've been known to. So,
well, let's hope it happens. Not the burning it down part, but let's hope we get some wins and we can celebrate pretty good.
Oh, you know damn well we can celebrate pretty good, Brock. You know damn well we can do that. All right, buddy. Hey, before we get you out of here, who do you got to thank for your win on Saturday night and all your sponsors?
It takes an army, really. It's not just me, or it's Noisy, Matt, Mike. They put in a lot of time and effort into this deal, and it's just everybody involved. Moose's LZ, C&D Rigging, them guys have been a big supporter for us for the past few years now, and been a big part for our team. And JP Adamski Trucking, Click Lewis Cars, Heavy Equipment Loaders and Parts. Eric and Alan have been with us for a while now, and they've really helped step up our program. And like I said, it takes a whole army here, and Protection First Class Outdoors and 2+2. They've been supporters of us for I think it's going on 8 or 9 years now. So we try to take care of our sponsors, and they become family to us. It's not just it's not just about the business side. We look at it as the family side as well, and that's just part of who we are. So without them guys, we wouldn't be out on the road. So everything that they do for us, we can't thank them enough.
Absolutely, but we can't thank you enough for taking some time out here. I know we were having trouble getting you connected here, but it's always a pleasure talking to you, man. It's been a while since I got to say hello to you, but I can't wait to see you coming up here in a couple weeks at in Port Royal, the Grove here. I know Av and I we're really excited for that. We wish you the best of luck this weekend, man, and safe travels up and down the road. But good luck.
Yeah, it's good. I figured out standing on your head upside down, holding the phone in between your feet doesn't work to get signal. So we'll have to try something different there when we're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I might have to put the tin cap on next time, or the aluminum cap on. I think I heard that works.
We'll have to think of something there.
Yeah, wrap around it. Brock, you're the best, buddy. Thanks. Yeah. Hey, thanks for coming on, buddy.
Good talking to you.
Appreciate it. Good talking to you as always, buddy. Take care. There he goes, ladies and gentlemen. Brock Zearfoss off the Fredericksburg Eagle Hotel Hotline. Fantastic job to get Brock on. I've been wanting to get Brock on the show, so I'm glad we were able to do that here, even if it's just a short amount of time. But we got to wrap this show up because, Chris, what's coming up next on National Racing Network? Because I know you're probably yelling at us right now, but that was such a fun interview.
Yes, the interview was an absolute blast here. And coming up next, we have the Ezra Challenge Series from Michigan International Speedway, followed by Indy Pro 2000 from Long Beach. And then we're kind of quiet again. Back next, I think Wednesday night, Sim Racers Club is the next time we're on the air here. So Fuel Series is off, the TNT Series is off. Quiet nights, which is kind of enjoyable, but more time for me to hassle you guys.
I love it. We love it. Adam, anything else to wrap up the show with?
I got nothing.
All right. Well, that'll do it for another episode of the Highside Hustle, folks. Thank you so much for sticking with us. If you're still with us at this point here, thanks to our guest Shane Andrews, who we cannot wait to see everything with the Super DIRTcar Series coming up here on Tuesday night at Big Diamond. Looking forward to that as well. And of course, Brock Zearfoss joining us as well in the Fredericksburg Eagle Hotel Hotline. It was great to talk to Brock again, and hopefully this ain't the last time we talk to Brock on the show. We will definitely have both guys back on again. Maybe some point later on in the year, because that Shane interview just kept going. It was fantastic. So that's going to do it here, ladies and gentlemen, for Big Sexy Adam Rubright, our executive producer, Chris Graham, and all of our great sponsors, which is Fredericksburg Eagle Hotel, 34 Motorsports, with all the low on Speedweek, which congratulations to Brett Marks on a fantastic Speedweek. My name is Bert Woodrick, folks. Keep on hustling. We will be back next Thursday night with the Highside Hustle. Enjoy the races, folks.